Now for a word from today's video sponsor, BetUS. BetUS is an online gaming and sports betting company. This is America's favorite sports book and an A-rated sports book on Sportsbook Advisors. BetUS has every single sport that you can think of, especially college football. Y'all know, Coach, I like college football. So anything from the coin flip to who gonna score the first touchdown to what boxer's going to win in a big time prize fight. They got it all, and it's all on their website. So for me, you know I love football, and the NFL and college football seasons are here with basketball right around the corner. So if you like to bet on the NFL, NBA, Major League, college sports, all that, horse racing, whatever you have, this is the place to go, man. So if you sign up with my link today down in the description, BetUS is giving away 125% sign up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets because it's the 30th year anniversary. So go ahead, use my link in the description to sign up, get your bonus. Sound like a pretty sweet deal to me. BetUS supports the Fan Addict, and the Fan Addict supports BetUS. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, remember to gamble responsibly because we not out here telling you who to bet with, but we just telling you here's an avenue that you can use to do that betting. Now let's get to the video. Welcome in, college football fans, to the Fan Addict on the Fan Addict Sports Network. Man, you know what we're here to do. We're here to talk Clemson, Duke, college football preview. Let's get into it.
The Fanatic, where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk, you know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina, upstate, A64. Yeah, the FANATTIC, the Fanatic, where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what.
All right, people, man, we in here, man. I got a special guest in here. Y'all see him. It's Austin Baker. He's back. He was on the channel back in 2021. We stayed in contact. Pretty cool friends, man. And he's a Clemson guy through and through. So I'll bring him back on so we can do this preview. What's going on, Austin?
Nothing much. Just started school. Appreciate being on again.
Hey, no problem, man. Listen, Clemson and Duke got the night to themselves on Labor Day, man. No off camera, man. You was telling me you going to the game. You hyped about it?
I really am. This will be my second away game for Clemson. So hopefully come out on top this time.
Hey, man, listen, the Duke Blue Devils will be trying to pull an upset, man. So just let's go ahead and get into it, man. We'll talk about the 2022 season recap, then we'll get into some offense versus defense, and then make our predictions at the end, man. So Duke was 9-4 last year. Had a pretty good season. Well, really good in Duke standards. I mean, you know, they handily beat Miami. Wake Forest, who's a good team, and then gave it to UCF in that bowl game, man. So Clemson is coming off of not a Clemson standard type year, but they still, you know what I'm saying, won the ACC, which is crazy. That just shows you the success of Clemson. You win the ACC, but, fans are still like, what's going on, man? We don't look the same, So, hey, Dabo heard everything and made some changes. Clemson actually lost to Tennessee in the bowl game. But like I said, they beat North Carolina pretty bad in the ACC Championship. So, just coming off a 2022 season where they didn't actually reach their goals. That's about it. How'd you feel about that 2022 season, man? I mean, knowing you guys won the ACC but didn't get to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take anything for granted. Obviously, best is still the standard in my opinion. Like you said, Dabo saw changes that needed to be made, and he made them. I'm still very appreciative of what DJ did for us, but I don't think that he progressed like he was supposed to.
Yeah.
And Streeter never. I don't think he was what Dabo said he was going to be. But overall, 22 season, I thought we could get back to the playoffs, but I wouldn't say it's a failure because you still got to play in a New Year's Six bowl game. You still won an ACC championship. Not many schools can say that. So to me, it was still a success.
That's big time. Like you say, not many schools can say they played in the New Year's Six. It's crazy. You see fan bases out here coming down on your school, whether it be Clemson or, whoever, Alabama. Some people try to talk about them because they didn't make the playoffs. It's just because your standard is so high that you've done it so long. They think it's a failure of a season when you don't actually reach the playoffs. So let's go ahead and jump into it, man. The Duke offense versus that Clemson defense. Last year, I don't feel like the Clemson defense as a unit held up to the Clemson standard because I think they finished outside the top 40 as for total defense altogether. It had a lot of individually elite players, but I don't think the unit was elite, itself. And then on the other side, you had Duke with Riley Leonard led offense who actually surprised a lot of people. If you wasn't surprised by their 32 plus points a game, then you must go to Duke, or what I'm saying, as a Duke student or a Duke fan or something. 427 yards per game. So what are you thinking like Clemson's going to try to do to slow down the Duke offense?
I would say you're going to see typical Clemson. I think our secondary is going to probably be the best that it's probably ever been. I think ever under Dabo.
Hmm.
Also, too, like our defensive line's just going to reload, and I think basically attacking Duke and forcing probably Leonard to make decisions and get him out of the pocket is going to be the main thing that we can do against Duke, and we can have the edge on the line, I think.
Yeah, you guys definitely got Tyler Davis on that defensive line. You got the five-star Peter Woods that came in. That's going to make a big difference. And then everybody knows about the linebackers, Barrett Carter and Jeremiah Trotter, two of the best in the nation. And then you're right. Everything I've heard and read has said the secondary, which I actually thought was a weak point in Clemson's defense last year. I felt like Makuba was having to make up for a lot of people's mistakes on the outside, patrolling the middle or whatever. So it made him look like he wasn't as talented as I know he is. And I think this year he may be able to get back to. So what's your feelings on Wes Goodwin? 1 year, removed from Brent Venables. How are you feeling about Wes Goodwin?
I personally love Wes. I like the energy he brings. I think people, like you said, our standard is set so high, replacing Coach Venables like he did. And I think people are just so used to the success that we had on defense.
Yeah.
And I mean, it didn't look like typical Clemson, but I mean, it wasn't bad. But I still think he's going to do a really good job. And I think this year, I think it's going to be the best under him. So.
Well, you're going on the road to Duke to take on an offensive line that gave up an ACC low 17 sacks, anchored by Graham Barton, what I'm saying? And then they got the receivers on the outside, Jalen Calhoun, who's actually from the upstate of South Carolina, fifth year senior, Samir Hagens. So I think, and of course, Riley Leonard, I think they returned 9 starters, which is crazy, what I'm saying? Not regardless of what they were coming out of high school, when you have that much, experience returning, that could help your cause, going forward, because everybody knows the system. They don't have to, get acclimated to it. And it's like the more years you're in the system, the more you can try to progress. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, I think, between that Clemson defensive line, who, again, like I say, they performed good last year, but to a Clemson standard, they kind of underperformed, going against that offensive line who doesn't give up many sacks. And if they can keep a clean pocket for Riley Leonard, who's to say what can happen? It might put a little bit more pressure on those Clemson DBs, man. So let's talk about the Duke defense on the return side, to go against that Clemson offense. I know as a Clemson fan, man, you're excited about Garrett Riley.
Absolutely. I like what he brings to our offense, more of like a air raid kind of field. But like I think what the biggest misconception is about a lot of people is that we're not going to run the ball as much. But with Shipley and Maffa, I think if you look at the TCU offense, actually they ran the ball a pretty good bit. So I think he's going to be a big upgrade, and I'm excited to see what he does in week 1.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's gonna be attacking a defense that brings back 8 starters. They lost a little bit in the secondary and linebacker, but they also went to the transfer portal and got a guy from Texas A&M, Miles Jones, and then got Al Blaze from Miami. Al Blaze from Miami, of course, having some experience in the ACC. So that's going to be interesting too. My thing is, what are your feelings on the wide receiver room? Because I personally believe that DJ, like you said earlier in the video, that he didn't progress like you guys thought he would. But I think some of that, not all of it, but some of that was due to the coordinators that he had. Streeter and Elliott. Because I'm more of a Jeff Scott guy. Less of a Tony Elliott guy. But we'll say that for another video. And then his wide receivers, like not creating separation and just not making plays on the ball. So how are you feeling going into this year with the wide receiver room?
Oh man, I'm excited. I think the main thing with the wide receivers in the past is just having trouble staying healthy. Like this year, I'm excited to see Bo Collins maybe take the next step. Cole Turner. He broke out in the ACC Championship game against North Carolina. You have Tyler Brown. Antonio Williams is going to be big. So I mean, and a lot of other guys, and Jake Brenning still at tight end. So I think as far as tight end and wide receivers go, it's probably the most excited I've been in a couple of seasons.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely excited to see if Antonio Williams can, can just add on to what he did last year, being one of the best freshman wide receivers in the nation last year. Pretty much the bright spot outside of the running game. Last year for Clemson with Shipley and Maffa back there. I've been a big Maffa fan coming, since he came out. I actually wanted him at Georgia, even though he chose Clemson, but I think he definitely got a formidable backfield, one of the best in the Southeast, if not, the nation. And then I'm interested to see what these guys can do. I'm interested to see what Tyler Brown can do. I feel like he brings something to the team that has been missing, and that's that, that wiggle in the open space to make people miss it, like in a phone booth, and just the quick speed. I know you guys are big on Randall, Adam Randall, and he's like what 6'3", 6'4", something like that.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know he was kind of injured last year, so seeing what he can look like, and then on the other side of the ball with Duke is replacing their defensive coordinator who left and went to Minnesota, I think. But the thing is, they brought in Santucci from Texas A&M, who's worked with Mike Elko before. So I don't think they'll change much on defense. Maybe the verbiage will probably be the same. They was actually second in the FBS in turnover margin, so I think they're going to try to look to turn Cade over. Cade is, I think he started one true game or two games counting the ACC championship, but he's had limited actions, so to say. That's what I want to see. I want to see, has he corrected the kind of inexperienced mentality of running backwards when the play breaks down to make it to save it from getting worse, because even if it's a bad play, sometimes you just got to throw it away. And I know it was on display in that Notre Dame game where he was like running the wrong direction, but I'm pretty sure Garrett Riley's correcting some of that. I'm interested to see his play calling and see if he can get those guys open on the outside. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. You and I were talking off camera, man. Just doing research on Duke, man. They're a better team than I think a lot of people think, to know about. They returned 17 starters. That's a lot of starters to return.
Yeah.
So they got Dwayne Carter at defensive tackle, Brandon Johnson at defensive back. I mean, a lot of these guys got a lot of experience. So it's going to be interesting to see that Clemson offense, new look, it's going to, I mean, I know people want to say it's going to, with the TCU, but I'm thinking it's going to have some TCU qualities, but it's going to be a little bit of a spin on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Cade probably is a better thrower than Max Johnson, but I'm interested to see if Cade is the gamer that Max Johnson was. That's one of the things that made Max Duggins.
Yeah.
Made Max Duggins good. So let's get over to some keys to the game and predictions, man. So give me like one or two keys to the game and your prediction for who's going to win.
My keys to the game is gonna be how does the offense look basically, and then I think as far as the secondary goes and getting pressure on Leonard and the Duke offense and shutting down the passing game early and forcing them to run, I think that's the biggest key is stopping them on defense and then also playing offense up to Clemson standard, I believe. And so my prediction, it might be a little bit unpopular, but I think Clemson's going to roll to a 38 to 17 win.
There it is. The spread is 12.5. So just okay, just covering the spread and everything. I think some of those points are definitely good. I'm looking at the matchup to see because Clemson, I think regardless of how good the wide receiver room turns out to be, I think they're going to be a run heavy team this year. Like you said, people think of Garrett Riley's offense, open and making big plays, but they actually run the ball a lot. And I think you guys have a good backfield. So my key is, can Duke, Dwayne Carter in that front seven, hold up and slow down Will Shipley and Phil Maffa from running the ball and kind of like, make Clemson one-dimensional and then really get to see what those wide receivers and Cade can look like in the passing game. So the spread is 12.5. I am going to pick Clemson to win. I think I'm going to pick Clemson to win. I don't know, 31-17, just covering. Yeah. 31-17, just covering, that spread. Because at the end of the day, I think Duke has a really good team. I just think, and recruiting will tell you so, and performance on the field just while Duke definitely has a good first, 22, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. It's about the depth when you're trying to beat the elite teams. And I think Clemson's depth will eventually, overtake Duke's talent. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So anything else you got on the game, man, that you're looking forward to before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'll just tell everybody, be careful about that upset alert. Dabo loves that. Dabo loves that stuff. So
Hey, man, that rat poison Nick Saban always talks about, man. So use it to your advantage is what Dabo's doing. So there it is, man. Clemson fans, Duke fans, y'all get in the comments, man. Let us know what y'all keys to the games are and y'all predictions. Don't forget to like the video, share it with some people, man. Share it, Duke fans. We don't have a lot of Duke fans come to the channel, so if you catch the game, catch the preview, and you like it, man, make sure to tell other Duke fans to come. We definitely have some Clemson fans show up. Put it in there. We like to go back and forth with the comments, and subscribe to the channel, man, so we can get this content out to more people, man. We want to thank Austin for coming on. We know he's got to get in bed soon here, get up for class early in the morning. So this is for Austin. This is Coach I, the fan addict, man. We're out of here.
I love the fans like they part of my team. Come rock with me. We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound. Let's go eat. Turn on the fan addict. Let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?